Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Gabin from Design Tribe, and today I'm bringing you another Photoshop tutorial. Let's get straight to it. The first thing we want to do, as usual, is to create a new project, and for this project we are going to be having a 1000 by 1000 pixels file because I want the aspect ratio to be a 1:1 aspect ratio. So I'm just going to click here, and now once that is done, the first thing I want to do is to create my background. And for the background of this, it's a data analysis flyer. It's a flyer for a data analysis event, so I'm just going to use a blue color for that. So here I'm going to select my solid color, and I'm just going to pick this blue, and that is it. Once that is done, I'm going to bring in my images. I'm going to add to the background to create some textures in the background, and for that I'm going to zoom out a little, and I'll stretch this image to fill the whole canvas like this. So we have just the screen on the canvas like this. So I'm just going to increase the size of this a little more. So this. Okay, so once my screen is filled like that, I'm going to zoom in a little, and now I will go to blend mode, and I'll change my blend mode to soft light like that, and drop the opacity to about 26%. I'm going to add a mask to that and use my brush tool, making sure my foreground color is set to black and my hardness is set down to 0%, and I'll just dab on this area like this. Okay, I think the texture in the background is a little strong, so I'm still going to drop that to maybe 21%. So at this point, what I'm going to do now is to import the computer image into my project. Just drag and I drop it into the image like that, and I'll just click on select and select subject and allow Photoshop to do the selection for me. And once the selection is done, I'm just going to click on the mask button here, and now I'm going to press Ctrl Command T on my keyboard to resize the laptop to this size, and I'll position it here, and I'll work a little more on the background. So on the background, I'm going to create a new layer here, and for this I'm going to use a white color. So I'm choose my brush, make sure it's a soft brush, and I increase the size a little more, and I'll zoom out like this, and I'll just dab down here like this just to create this kind of effect on the background. And once that is done, I'll zoom in a little more and bring down my computer to this position like this. And now to make it more real, I'm going to add another layer beneath that, and for this I'm going to use my foreground color will be black, and I'll use my brush tool, reduce the size of the brush, and I'm just going to click like that, Ctrl T, and I'm going to resize it to something like this. That's to create a shadow for the computer. So I'm position it here like that, and I'll move it up a little and drop the opacity a little to something like that. Okay, once that is done, next thing I want to do is to bring in this other guy with a computer into my project like this. Once he's brought in, I'm just going to go to select subject, and once Photoshop does the selection, I'm going to refine the selection a little more by adding this other part. So before doing that, you click on this plus sign here and add this other part to the selection like this. Okay, once the selection is done, I'm just going to add a mask to it, and I'm going to bring this to this position, and I will drag this and send it right down. Let me just close this so we have more space for our layers here. Okay, so I'll take this image and I'll send it right behind like that. I think, yeah, at this position, and I'm just going to use my magic eraser to take out this white spot from here, like that. Okay, once that is done, I'll just bring it here, Control T, increase the size a little more, and I'll position it somewhere here, like that. And I'm going to fade him out in the background, just like that. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is to bring in the data analysis text. So I'm just going to select a yellow color like this, saturate it a little, and I'll select Montserrat as my font, and I'll type in data analysis. I'll select the text, hold Alt or Option key on my computer, and I'll press the down arrow key to separate the text like that. And for this, I'm going to press Ctrl Command T on my keyboard, reduce the size of data analysis, and I'll rotate it like this, position it somewhere here, this up a little. And now I'm going to type seminar beneath that, all in lowercase, seminar. Select everything, change my font type to regular, and I'm going to drop the size to something like maybe 14. Change the color of the fonts to white, like that, and Ctrl C, and I'll rotate it like this and position it a little below this. And once that is positioned like that, the next thing I will do is to bring in the light rays that I used for this project. So just drag and drop it into my project, and for this light rays, I want just the light to appear, so I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. And once it's changed to screen, I'm going to click on Ctrl T, and I'm going to bring it up like this, and drag, bring it to the top, nope, just slightly below the computer. Okay, once it's positioned like that, I'm just going to add a hue and saturation layer, a hue saturation layer above that, and I'm going to clip it on this layer so it affects just the light rays layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the saturation a little, and I'm going to do a little hue. I'm just going to hue it. What I want to do is to make the colors align with this yellow color that we have here for data analysis. So I'm just going to bring this, play with this a little, maybe add a saturation a little more like that, and I think that's okay. I'm just going to close this now, and next thing I want to do, I want to shift this down a little. So I'll select both the layers, the computer and that of the shadow. I'm going to shift them down a little because I need more space here to write. So I'm going to bring this down here a little. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to bring next is the name of the organization that is organizing the data analysis program. So I'm just going to reduce the size of their logo to this and position it at this position here, and I'm going to type in the name of the organization like that, Academy Fellowship. Select everything, and I'll drop my font size to about 9 or smaller, like that, and I'll just press Ctrl or Command J on my keyboard to make a copy, and I'll position it directly under this, and I'll move this up a little, and here I'll type in ACF Bambili, like that. Once that is typed in, I'll move this to the side. I want it to be at the center, like this. Okay, now I may need to move my data analysis to the top a little and just reposition everything like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring in the remaining details for the flyer. So at this point, I'm going to create a shape here for the date, the venue, and to indicate that it's actually a free program. So I'm going to do that by creating a rectangle like this. And for this rectangle, I'm going to create a copy, Ctrl J, like that. No, oops, sorry. Ctrl J to create a copy, and I'll align the two like this. One has to be slightly longer than the other, so hold Shift and reduce the size like this, and I'll bring this to this side. Perfectly aligned together. Yeah, I'll still need to shift this a little more. Okay, at this point, I'm going to add a circle. Before creating that, I will click on a new layer. Now hold Shift to make sure it's a perfect circle, like that. And for that, I'm going to use a red color to draw more attention on the info that is going to be placed here. I'll just cancel this. Once that is positioned, I'm going to reduce the size a little, like that. Side, adjust it like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these 3 layers like that, Control T on my keyboard or Command T. I'm going to rotate them like this, and I'll position them here. So once that is done, I'm going to reduce the size of seminar a little more, so there's a little more space in between them. And now I'm going to type here to indicate that the program is free. So I'll type it's free. It's free. So I'll just close this up a little, and I'll change fonts to bold. Control or Command C, reduce the size, something like this, and I'll bring it to this layer. So I'll drag it, make sure it's above that. Control T, and I'm going to rotate it a little like that. Position it here. Now I'm going to type in the date of the program. So it's going to be on a Sunday. So I'll type in sun, SUN, all in caps. For this, I'm going to choose this blue color in the background, like that, and I'll make it a little more bolder, like that. Just click on it and bring it to this position, and Control T, rotate the side, rotate it like this, and I reduce the size to something like this, and I position it here. And once that is done, I'm going to type in the time. It's going to take place at 2 p.m. I'm going to type in 2:00. PM. Put the P and the M in lowercase. Control A, reduce the font size to about 6, like that. Control T, and I'll rotate it like this, and I'll position it above here like that. Just do slight adjustments like this. Okay, once that is positioned, now I'm going to create a copy of the 2 p.m. I'll just type in May 5th, May 5th. Select everything and close them up a little like that. I think I'll make this extra bold and move it to the side like this, and I'll space them out. Let's see, let me just space them out so that it aligns with the Sunday text like that. Okay. I think the space is a little too much, so just want to play around with it till it looks okay. Once that is done, next thing I'll bring in is a location symbol, and I'll just position it here, reduce the size to this, bring it to this point like that. I'm going to change the color to blue, to dark blue. So I'm going to use my paint bucket, and I'll click on it like that. Control T, reduce the size to something like this, and I'm going to rotate it slightly like that, and I'll move it to this position. Oops, make sure you click on this and move it to this position like that. And I want to increase the size a little more like this. Okay, once that is done, I'll just position it there, and I'll change the color of this layer to yellow like that, and I'm just going to type in the venue in that layer. Maybe let me change the color to white for now, and I'll type in Agric School Hall. Agric School Hall like that. Once that is typed, I'm just going to select it, then I bring on this layer, Control or Command T, and I'll rotate it like this, position it here, and now I'm going to use the same color I used for the location icon here. Now the next information I want to type in will be the phone numbers for the events. So here I'm just going to choose a white color like that, and go to regular, and I'll just type the contacts like that, 670 space 033 space 411 space and 678 space 877 space 949 like that. Control Command C, I'll reduce the size a little like this, and I'll just drag and drop here. Control T, rotate, and I move this up like this, and I'm going to select the same blue color that we have here. For that, here I'm going to emphasize that the requirement is a laptop and writing material, so I'll reduce the size of the laptop a little, bring it up here, so you can have space for the remaining text that will fit in this position. So now I'm just going to type here, writing materials and laptop required. So type writing material and laptop required. Okay, select everything, change the color to white from the material. I'll make the required bold like that to emphasize, just for emphasis. And I'll press Ctrl T, rotate this like that. I'll position it directly beneath this layer like that. I think that is okay. At this point, I may now choose to increase the size of my computer like that. Okay, so at this point, all I need to do now is just to do some more refining. Well, before doing that, I'll need to add the social media handles of the organization. So for that, I'm going to choose this yellow color here, and I'm just going to create a rectangle like this. The rectangle is created. I'm going to press Ctrl or Command T to rotate the rectangle to that position, that, and maybe I just reposition it like this. And once it is repositioned, bring it down a little. Going to click here, add a mask. Now use my black brush, make sure the hardness is set to 0%, and I'll just dab here like this to make it a faded line like that. So at this point, I'm just going to drag in the YouTube icon and position it here, reduce the size like that, position it. Just position it here. I want to rotate it a little like that. So I'll create a copy of this text up here by pressing Command or Control T on my keyboard. I'll just bring it here. Okay, let me locate this. Okay, I'll take this text layer and I'll position it above that like that. And here I'm going to type in the name of the YouTube channel, afecam.tv like that. Select everything, and I'll choose this same blue color in the background, and I'll reduce. Let me just see. I can reposition it here like that. Ctrl T, drop down the font size a little, and I will rotate it like that. Drop a little like that. Now I'm going to bring in the Facebook icon also, that reduce the size. That is a little too small. Increase it a little. Position it here. Ctrl T and rotate it a little like that. And I'll create a copy of this text layer. I'll position it here, and I'll in Academy Cameroon like that, and Ctrl T. it here. I'll shift this out a little. To this side, this to this side. But I think good to go. At this point, just going to adjust some few things again. If you can see, this is competing with this, so I'm just going to select everything at this point and reduce the size a little more, something like this. It here, and I think at this point this looks pretty good, so I'm just going to select everything and like that, select everything, group it, and then we convert it to a smart objects layer. Just go to camera raw filter, and under camera raw filter I'm just going to refine my colors and give a general color grade to my design. So the temperature, I'm going to increase the temperature a little, and contrast, increase the contrast. Highlights, I'll drop the highlights a little. Shadows, brighten it up. Whites, I'm going to increase the white a little more. Blacks, just a slight touch. Here you don't want to do too much. Textures, increase my textures in clarity, increase the haze a little, and sharpening, put sharpening at about 50% or less, and that is okay. I'm just going to click on OK, and here we have the final result. So if you watched this to the end, I'm very grateful. I just want to say thank you, and please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe and click the like button, for that motivates me to know that you actually value what I am doing, and it encourages me to create more. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.